This video is on three-dimensional figures. When we talk about three-dimensional figures, we're talking about a solid, and a solid is a three-dimensional figure. So these are all examples of solids. When we're talking about solids, we're talking about prisms, and that's a three-dimensional figure that has two parallel and congruent bases in the shape of polygons. This one, illustrated here, is a rectangular prism. And I know it's a rectangular prism by its base. Now we name our prisms based on what type of base they have. So this one has a rectangle, so it's a rectangular prism. A couple pieces of terminology that you need to be familiar with. A vertex. This is a vertex. This is a vertex. It's where all the faces intersect. So for this rectangular prism, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 vertices. That would be the plural vertex. Another term you need to be familiar with is face, and that's any surface that forms a side or a base of a prism. This has 8 faces, so this top would be a face, bottom, side, side, the back, and the front. The base, we have two bases, are the two parallel congruent faces. So this would be a base, this would be a base. So these are specific types of faces. And lastly, we have the edge, and that's the intersection of faces of a 3D figure. So here's an edge, 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 edge. And so in total, this rectangular prism would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 edges. Another type of solid we could have is a pyramid, and that's just a solid that has a polygon for a base and triangles for sides. And we name these pyramids just like our rectangular prisms, or our prisms, based on the type of base it has. So this shape here would be a triangular prism, and it's also illustrated here. And this would be a square prism, illustrated here. This first one also has a special name. It's called a tetrahedron. Now with prisms, you need to be able to illustrate these, and you can do this by using isometric dot paper, and that's what this is for. Notice that the dots are kind of far apart, shorter here, and you can connect these dots to form three-dimensional shapes. Now the way you do this is to focus in on a point, and I'm going to look at this point right here. And you start that illustration from that point. So this one goes up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go at a similar spot and go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes up 1. And then it also goes up 1 here. And over. So there I have my side. And then it goes over 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, up 1, connect my points here, and then I'm just going to do the same up here. Now some people may be able to do this without isometric dot paper, and that's completely fine. And we use dashed lines to indicate that they are there on the other side of the solid, but that it is a solid. If you can do this without using isometric dot paper, that is perfectly acceptable. I have no problem with that. You could do it just by drawing the face of a polygon, lines up to the left or right, and basically the same procedure.
Another way to draw a three-dimensional object is to use isometric dot paper. That's what this is. So let's take a look at how you can do that. If we start with a point, we just kind of follow along the line. So this is starting at this point, it goes over and up 1. So we'll just create a line there. And then continue on from that point. It goes straight up 1, 2. So there's 1 and then 2. And then it goes over and down 1. and then down 2 again. And we could always include this line here, but that's not necessarily needed. So this side that is going to be a rectangle is actually represented as a parallelogram here. We'll go ahead and do that with the other face of the prism. Over 1, up 2, and down. So now we have these two faces. The final thing is to add the face onto the top. Now, one thing that's not represented in this drawing is the sides that you can't see. And with this program, I can't do that, but that is represented as a dashed line, sides that you, or edges that you cannot see. With this program, though, I can fill in the space with some color, just to make it look a little more like our original. So that's how you use isometric dot paper to recreate three-dimensional figures.